Now, all right, Survivor, Island of Idols. If you have not watched it, please do not watch this video because there are some spoilers. Okay, so good episode. It's a really good episode. Uh, Let me have a flashback first to when Kelly and Missy and Elizabeth were in the game. When all of that drama went down with him inappropriately or supposedly inappropriately touching them. Even though they had some type of footage that seemingly showed him at night touching on these ladies, or the one that I think I saw was the one with Elaine when he touching on her thigh, her leg, or something like that. But and then Janet, of course, Janet went to bat for him, and because she was like, he's an old school guy, and we're like touchy feely. She got him, we get each other, this, that, and the other. But then she also wanted to protect the women, and when they started making it a bigger issue, she was like, well, maybe we need to get him out because he's making people feel uncomfortable. That backfired on her because they still playing the game, this, that, and the other. He stayed. They put a target on her back. And Kelly got voted out with 2 idols, then followed by Missy and Aaron, Aaron, then Missy, then followed by Elizabeth. So, and then I think the next one after that was Krishna. So, then we fast forward to now. I, for one, am happy that Nora is still there. I love Nora. I don't know what it is about her quirkiness or something. I just like her, man. I like Nora. I like me some Nora. She just seems, even though they all call her crazy and stuff, she just seems more stable to me. Like as far as a game in the game. Now I do appreciate the way the game pulls on you emotionally. I appreciate those emotional moments with Elaine. I thought she was a great player. I, for one, however, was not pulling for her. I wasn't. I saw how such of a social butterfly that she was from the get go, and so I was like, yo, she got to go. And and this is one of the few seasons that late, and it's been happening later on in the season. But no, I have to change it. This season is the very first season that I've watched, and I wasn't going for my color. You know, I was raised in the generation where you didn't see a lot of us on the TV, and if you did, we were, we were picked as a token. Like, well, we got, or as a quota, we have to pick the token black guy, the black chick, or we have to pick the token black person, or the make the quota. But that person didn't only represented me because of color, but not because of personality or because of strategy or gameplay. Uh, and I just was so culturized by my black culture that I was like, I don't care who that person is, I'm going for them. Because there ain't no other black people in there, and it's white, and it's so many white people. They already going. The only reason why I'm going for them because I relate to them in the sense of they feel like the minority. They feel like they're already on the bottom already. But there has been a shift here in America over the last few years, and I don't know if it has anything to do with Obama's presidency, but yeah, it's been a shift. And for me, it's been a shift because I think, moreover, over the last 3 years, it's had everything to do with the Trump presidency. Because first and foremost, I'm a Christian. So God, he definitely sees color, but he don't see it in the sense of of division. He sees it in a sense of beauty. Obviously, he created everything. So, I mean, you think about flowers, you think about, I'm thinking about all these colors, all fruits, um, couches. Look at all the colors, the walls, colors everywhere. That's how God see. He sees that, he didn't want to create the earth black and white. It was very colorful. He wanted us to enjoy the beauty of different shades and hues of color. So in that sense, yeah, uh, there's been a huge shift for me because as I get older, I'm 37 now. I'm growing closer to the kingdom of God. I'm getting more spiritual, in that sense, in Christ. They that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. And we become a new creature in spirit and in truth. Old things will pass away like our flesh. So I can't depend on this black skin color, which I really never could depend on it. But the culture that comes with it, definitely can't depend on it. I have to depend on the culture of kingdom, which is righteousness, peace, and joy. And black culture don't really represent that. It don't represent righteousness, peace, and joy. I mean, I'm just gonna be honest with you. It don't represent that. It represents pride. It represents, uh, a certain type of character. A certain type of exuberance that you have to have and confidence. Um, and there's a lot of great things in black culture. However, when it comes to representing Christ, there are a lot of things in the black culture that I just don't agree with, and I just have to denounce. Sorry, I had to go into all that, but I just need you to get into this psychological mind frame that I'm in, so you can understand my approach to Survivor nowadays as opposed to back in the day. So this is the very first season I've watched for character and content rather than, oh, I want to see a black person win Survivor. I've already seen that. Wendell won Survivor. Jeremy won Survivor. Sandra won a person of color. So I'm beyond that now. And honestly, I didn't really like Jeremy. I mean, he was cool, and I was really happy that he won. I was pulling for him, but he wasn't my type of Survivor player. He just honestly, I'm kind of surprised that he won because throughout that season that he won, he was kind of just, for me, he was invisible. Now he made some really good moves at the end. I don't even know why. Now Wendell, he was more someone that I can be more attached to. David and Goliath, Davey, he was more a person that I was attached. He reminded me of my brother Adrian. He seemed like he would play like Adrian. Now, who was the other guy? The older guy, I forget his name, on David and Goliath. Dude that like to drink beer, and he played the Otto Nolivar. I think he was the first person in American Idol, Lord help, Survivor history to play an idol nullifier. Which in this episode, Dean he got an idol nullifier, and I have been notoriously never kind of gone for white dudes on Survivor because they always overcast white dudes, and I still think they do. It's like they try to represent so many white dudes, and usually a white dude is at the end. I mean, usually it's just to be honest, it usually is. So, yeah, I still have to deal with that psychologically. Just being real, I still have to deal with, okay, when I see Survivor, I got to get out of that old mind frame of, oh, there's another white person, white male, and white female. They overcast white people. Period. That's just my opinion. Um, but this season has changed a little bit. I haven't really looked at it that much. Now with the white dudes, I still haven't got over that. So Dean, I'm sorry, I just had not been going for him. He's not been the type. He's a typical uh, white dude with muscles and good looks that they usually cast. Um, now Tommy is different because usually redheads usually get treated differently. Um, but he's played a good game, and then he's partnered with Lauren, whom she's my second choice right now. My first choice that I'm going for is Janet. She's just my type of gal, my type of survivor player. I like the way she plays the game. I don't know what it is about her, but she there's a certain thing, a certain type of way she exudes her personality that just meshes with what I like. And so I'm really going for her. And I don't think I've ever been in a position where I've gone for an old school person. So, because I'm usually going for a black person. Like I was going for Michaela when she was playing. Actually, in Game Changers, I didn't know who to go for. I actually wanted Michaela, Sari, and Sandra to be in the final. Yes, I sure did. I wanted them three to be in the final. I don't even know if there was any black dudes in that final in that season. I can't remember. But yeah. So watch this episode. I've talked for a long time, haven't I? I need to wrap it up. I watched this episode. It was a good episode. It wouldn't be one of the episodes I would want to go back and watch um, in the future. I wouldn't be like, oh, I gotta go back and watch that episode. Now the Immunity Challenge, I would. The Immunity Challenge was funny. Actually, I'm gonna go back and watch it again. Cause I love the Immunity Challenge, the Immunity Challenges where they have them spinning around and stuff and doing dizzy stuff. So that's just funny stuff. Um, but yeah. So um, I honestly really like the addition of Rob and Sandra. I like it. I have to make this notation. Now, when the season started with Island of the Idols, and we found out that the Island of Idols was Rob and Sandra, and they were coming to see them and all that. I thought it was just an addition, and it came off as okay. This is an addition. I always had in the back of my head that um, okay, this is good for Sandra and Rob because it could help them. I mean, I already knew that they were going to do a winter season, an all winter season for Survivor 40, and we're in Survivor 39. So in the back of my head, I'm thinking this is good for Rob and Sandra. They're up there in age. I think they're in their 40s, both of them, and this will be good for them to, get in the mental juices of the game earlier than the rest of the winners that come back. So, which is actually, I think, it's proven itself to be so. Um, but this is the first episode that I've seen that I've watched that it seems like Sandra is starting to switch into game mode already. It's just my personal observation. It seems like she's starting to try to distance herself from Rob a little bit. That's what comes off to me a little bit. Rob is like getting really excited. He's fishing. He's exploring. He's going on the boat. He's doing all kinds of stuff. Sandra said, "I'm calm. I stay chill." She had something she was going on with her skin or something happened, but it seemed like that's passed, and she's worked her way through that. Um, but this episode, that's what I picked up on. It seemed like she is starting to switch to game mode. Yeah, I think it's only 4 days uh, left in this season. Next week is the finale. So actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they're already playing Survivor season 40 as we speak right now. So woo! And this is a good season. I already know the Survivor season is good. Now let's talk about demographics because you have Wendell, you have Jeremy, you have Sandra. Yeah, they're all back. People of color. But I like Sophie. Sophie's back. She was a good player. Um, Tyson's back. Who else is back? I like Michelle. She was good. She was good. Um. Anyway, let me finish. Let me wrap up this season. All right, this episode, because I can just go on a rant. But so yeah, I can tell that she's switching into game mode. Now I can't tell if Rob is or not, but he definitely seems like he's just so into this season right now, which is okay. I think he's taking it a day at a time, and I think he's doing the right thing. And Rob is dangerous. He's already won. He's already played it so many times. He knows how to switch into game mode whenever he needs to. But Sandra seems like she's. I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but it just seems like she's switching into game mode already. Um, but anyway, and maybe it's because Rob. It seems like Rob has played much more of a role in this season because they gave him the role of explaining all the different challenges and chances that these uh, survivors have to take. They didn't give that role to Sandra. They gave her more of the sidekick role, which Sandra is the queen of the game. Nobody's won it twice. She's won it twice. But Rob just has the better on camera presence and speaking voice for that role, which is okay, which is cool. He done a good job. So I think that even in that maybe helped Sandra switch more into game mode quicker because she's like, okay, well, let Rob be in season 39, be the person to do that. I'll be like, I'll add my little 2 cents in here and there, but I'm already thinking about the game. So it is what it is. Now back to Dan. So after all that stuff passed away, with the jury's looking fuller and fuller, and nobody's even talking about that stuff that happened. It hadn't been on my radar anymore. The game has resumed. I've been enjoying it. The loved ones visit was really good. I've been watching Ponderosa. They all been good. This episode seemed like just a regular normal episode. I they of course they always try to trick you and make you seem like they're gonna vote out a person and they end up voting out. Like I don't know. I always felt like that's why I always reserve my thoughts when they start right before tribal council when they start making it seem like they're gonna switch it up. I think Nora gonna stay still. And then when Elaine start crying and she starts saying all this and that, they start making it about her. They want to make it about Nora. I was like, yeah, Elaine going home. I just could tell. Uh, and then after the torch gets snuffed and time for you to go, and they play that music, and then they usually kind of fade it out and say next time on Survivor. None of that was happening. They start walking home, so I'm thinking like, okay, wait a minute, is there a part 2 to this episode? Because while I was watching the episode, it flashed at the bottom that it said next week is the season finale of Survivor, which would make sense because it's already the 13th, I think, the 12th. Today's the 12th. So yeah, around that time, right before Christmas, I guess. But I'm looking at the numbers, and it's 7 people, and I'm like, since when did Survivor have the next episode be the finale with 6 people? I'm like, okay, they just keep changing. In my mind, I was like, they keep just changing stuff up. It must be a 2.5 hour finale or something. They may have 3, 4 tribal councils or something like that. But no, right at the end of this episode, this was a long video. Right at the end of this episode, Dan did, because they was all sitting there talking. I didn't even realize Dan wasn't even there. I didn't even realize that. All I saw was Jeff walking up to them, and they was like, "Where's Dan? Where's Dan?" They all start saying, "Where's Dan?" Like, yeah, something happened. Something happened. So I don't know. They didn't specify the reason. Of course, I'm gonna go online and I'm gonna try to check and see. But I'm gonna end this video by saying who I think the final 3 gonna be. I think it's gonna be Janet, Oh, okay. Who I'll say who I want it to be first. I want it to be Janet, Lauren. We got 5 left. There was 3 guys. It was what's his name? Tommy, Dan, and Dean. And then the 3 girls was Janet, Nora, and Lauren. Now there's only 2 guys left, Dean and Tommy. I just don't really want any of them in the final. I don't know. I'm just not going for them. I mean, maybe Tommy, but he ain't really did nothing. He hasn't impressed me at all this season. He ain't done nothing to me. Lauren has played the game a whole lot better. She's gotten a lot of good screen time. She's made a lot of good uh, decisions, and I think she could win the million. Janet, I definitely make my case for her because she's been a trooper this whole time. She's played really well. And Nora is because I just like her and I just want her to have a shot because everybody keeps writing her off and saying this, that, and the other about her. But she's played the game. She's won immunity challenges. She has been a wild card, but I don't know. I just like her. So that's my final 3 pick. Uh, who I would like to be in the final: Nora, Janet, Lauren. Who I think is going to be in the final though: Lauren. I said Laura. Lauren, Tommy, and Dean. That's who I think is going to be in the final 3. Lauren, Tommy, and Dean. I think Janet's going to get axed, but I don't want her to get axed. I really want her to win. See you guys later. Maybe I'll upload another episode, another video for the next episode.